Welcome to the craft room, my friends. I am just hopping on for a really quick project. I haven't been on in a while live, especially on YouTube. And I am just creating a few things for a wedding this in a couple weeks. And I thought I would just hop on and show you how easy it is to do the project I'm doing tonight. So if you hop on, say hello. If you're catching me later, thanks for stopping by. It's so much more fun to craft with friends. So I love it when you guys can catch me in the craft room. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the project because it's going to be super quick and super easy, and I'll explain everything as I'm going along. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in comments. I always go back and check them even if I don't catch you during the live. Okay, so I'm going to push my little camera down. Just doing it old school tonight. Anyway, I hope everyone has had a beautiful day and are ready for a creative idea. I hope this will inspire you. Okay, so I needed a faux clock. I have looked everywhere for a real clock, even that didn't work. And I haven't found one at any of the thrift stores, and I didn't want to buy one brand new because I'm using it for a decor piece in a wedding. And when I couldn't find one, I said, well, certainly I should be able to make one. So I found a cool idea, and I just thought I'd show you how easy it is. So I went to the Dollar Tree, and I picked up a set of burner covers. Now, I can't use these kind of burner covers, but I used to always think these were the cutest things. I can't use them. I have a gas stove. So if you have seen them, I'm sure they have lots of different designs. It really doesn't matter what the design is for this particular project, unless you had a specific need for a certain design that you wanted to use it for something else. But anyway, it has a small one. It only comes in a pack of two for $1.25, and you get a large one. So here's the large size, and then a small one. Now, I could have done either side of this. I feel like I could have done that side as the clock as well if I wanted, but I decided to do this side instead. And then, that way I didn't have to kind of deal with like the little bit of a groove in here. So what I did first to prepare it, I want to show you what I did to prepare it. The first thing I did, because this is metal and it's real slick, it doesn't always take paint very well, like acrylic paint. And actually I use chalk paint. So what I did was I took and put a layer of gesso on it first, just so that it would hopefully hold on to the paint a little bit better. And then after I did that, I applied a layer of chalk paint. Now, you may not even need this step. You may feel like you don't need it, but because the pattern was so busy, I just didn't want to take any chances that it might show through my paper. So it's kind of like when you're decoupaging something. If you're worried about the background showing through, you want to paint it. So that was why I did that. And this is just chalk paint that I got at the Dollar Tree, you guys. I mean, look at that big old jug of it. It's 8 ounces, and it's ivory. I don't use ivory a lot, but for this purpose, it really didn't matter. So that's what I did, and then I did that ahead of time so it could be completely dry, okay? So I am not doing anything else to this except for that. Now, the next thing I need to do is Mod Podge, and of course, I forgot to put my Mod Podge out here, so let me grab that right quick. I can't believe I forgot it. I'm just going to shake it because I haven't used it in a while. And what I also did was I found a free printable for a clock face. And I wanted it to look kind of old like this because that is the theme, what I need for the theme. I needed it something like this. Now, this does not have any hands on it. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to address that problem. I don't know if I'm going to buy real hands that I could attach to it, or whether, which I would just attach it with glue. I probably will do that, okay, just so you know. I probably will put hands on it, but whether I can find either wooden ones, or even if I like somehow did a printout and cut it out, I could do that. Or if I find real ones that were really cheap and inexpensive, then I would do that as well. And I really wouldn't even mind. I don't think the Dollar Tree has any clocks. I don't think I've ever seen any. I could just find any kind of clock. But when I was looking for a clock at the thrift store, I wanted one like in this kind of style where it was actually, all the numbers on there and it looked a little older. I didn't want one that was like brand new, and it didn't even have to work, you guys. Nice. But I probably will put hands on here, and when I do, I am going to put it at the time that the wedding is, because I think that makes it more significant, right? So I just did this printout on actually a piece of, you could do it on a piece of cardstock. I did it on a piece of photo paper, and this is actually a pack of photo paper from the Dollar Tree. My particular Dollar Tree that I went to has a very small pack, and I did not bring it in here. I've shown it before on one of my lives, but I didn't bring it into the craft room with me right now. It's in where my printer is, but it's this very small pack of photo paper. So you might want to check yours, and it was $1.25. You could also do this, like I said, on a piece of just craft paper. You could try copy paper, but it's going to be really thin, and I just think it would make a better presence doing it on a little thicker paper, whether it's cardstock or whether it's just a thicker piece of copy paper that you can get. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out really quickly, and I'm just going to do it around the edges. And I just searched up a clock face printable image. That's all I did. If you really wanted to know the one I use for this, if you send me a message, I will be glad to research and see if I can find it again. I saved it back in February, guys. And I have been looking ever since then to try to find, actual clock. And I even, at one of the thrift stores I go to a lot that's close by. And you guys, I apologize if you comment. I am not seeing any comments. Okay, I really apologize, but it's not going to let me do this. It's just not. I apologize. Right now, it's not showing me any. I'll put it that way. I will put it that way. Okay. I tried to pull it up on my iPad just in case. But I even put my name in at one of my local thrift stores that I go to all the time and said, hey, if you get any clocks in here, I was really hoping for it to be about 2 times this size, but I just gave up. I'm like, I have to get this finished. The wedding's in a couple weeks, so I'm down to the wire. Now, if something happens between now and then and actually come across one, but I probably will not have any time for any thrifting between now and then anyway, so... but that's it. But so I have been working really hard. I have not uploaded in a while. I did a bunch. I think I did 12 projects for the bridal shower in March, and I've only uploaded a couple of those, and they were all Alice in Wonderland themed or a nod to Alice in Wonderland. So I can't remember if I've even put any of them up, but I do need to get all of those uploaded so you guys can check those out in case that's something you're interested in. And so now I've been working on projects for the wedding. And again, the majority of them are a nod to Alice in Wonderland, but I tried to do it. I used a little more whimsy for the bridal shower. And for the wedding, I'm trying to do it a little more sophisticated. So that is my goal. And just to kind of, give a little hint Wonderland, because that's what the bride wanted. So I've had fun creating all this stuff and trying to figure it out. Some of it's been challenging and some of it's just been fun. So I've had my little list, and I'm just kind of busting through it and trying to get as many done as possible. Okay, so here it is. It's all cut out. And as you can see, it is not as big as my burner cover, but it was too big for, oh, maybe it wasn't. I could have done it on this one, but you guys, I really wanted it to be a bigger presence. So that's why I've done it this way. So we're just going to pretend like, the rest of it is going to be part of the, like maybe like what the clock is, oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? Like the frame or whatever around the clock. So what we're going to do first is we're going to Mod Podge this down. So I'm just going to put Mod Podge on the back of the paper, and, let me find my little Mod Podge tool. Oh, where's my little Mod Podge tool? Let's see. I like to use one of these little makeup things from the Dollar Tree. Have y'all seen those? That's what I use to put on Mod Podge. Unless I have to do one like with a, oh goodness. Let's see if I can get this open. Unless I have to do one with, does that happen to you guys? Because I am so lazy, I don't even clean the lid of my Mod Podge when I'm finished crafting. I just move right on to the next thing. So it's always hard. So I always have one of these gripper things in my, it doesn't live in my kitchen, it lives in my craft room. Okay, there we go. All right, so I just use one of these little makeup tools and pull out. That way it's so easy to clean. And you know, with the foam brushes, you end up, sometimes you can't get them all the way clean and you just have to throw them away. And I hate wasting them if I don't have to. So we're just gonna cover this generously. And because it's photo paper, it can hold up to however much I give it. It's not gonna tear or get too wet like it could if it was just regular copy paper, okay? And then I'll show you what we're gonna do for the finishing touch. And I'm hoping to find, I do need to go to one thrift store, and I can't remember if they're open tomorrow or not. If I don't go tomorrow, I will go Tuesday. But if they're not open, I can't remember if they're open on Mondays or not. The one I go to, and see if they, I'm looking for one other piece for another project that I need to get done. And I may look again. And even if they have any kind of clock, I might just grab it no matter what it looks like. But I have not seen clocks, period. And I just don't want to buy something new. I will spend more time going to thrift stores than probably what it would cost me to buy a brand new one. But I just don't like doing that. I like to reuse things so that we're not just adding to the trash in the world, you know. All right, that's almost got it all. And I love that Mod Podge, you know, it stays wet long enough for me to do this and then play around with getting it on my, there we go. And I did print this earlier, so it should be, you know, when you print with an inkjet, even on photo paper sometimes it wants to, you know, it might smear, but I did this much earlier, so it should be fine. All right, so we're gonna just, I'm gonna hope that I can scooch it around a little bit to where it looks kind of centered. Luckily it's round, so I don't have to worry about if it's completely straight, but I do want it to be about the same all the way around. And I have a little shadow on there, so that's throwing me off some. Looks like I need to pull it down just a little bit more. Okay, and then once I've done that, we're just gonna smooth it out. And if any Mod Podge comes off the sides, I didn't really have a lot of extra, but if, oh look, this side over here needs a little more. If any comes out the side, it'll dry clear, so it's no big deal. It's nothing to worry about. And this is just a little fun thing. You could use this for lots of projects. I'm just gonna add a little bit more Mod Podge under here. But you could do this for lots of things that would, instead of having a clock. You know, this is a cool little prop that you could use for lots of different things. Like I said, I am going to try to find real hands and put it at the time of the wedding on the clock. So, all right. See what I mean? I just did not even do anything to that Mod Podge. We're just going to put the lid on it like that for right now. And I'll take this to the bathroom and wash it up. And now we have what looks like a clock, but I don't like that it's... you know, that I still see this edge and I can see through, even though I did a layer of paint on top of it. So what I've done now is I have some old chalk paste that's in a shimmer copper because I looked at my paint, things like that, but I don't really have a copper and I didn't want to have to go to the store and buy anything. So I'm using what I have on hand, but this is very copper looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this chalk paste, if I can get it open, and I am going to paint around the edges with it just to, oh, look at that. See how old that is? Look at that, guys. We're going to see if we can, I say we are going to do this, but guess what? If I can't get it to, I have a brand new one of these. I was trying not to use it, but we're going to try to make this, see if we can make this paint work. You can turn chalk paste into paint anytime. And this is old, so we're just going to see. I probably should have sprayed some water in there earlier before I went to supper. And I did just use distilled water in there because otherwise it could cause mold to grow in there. So let's see if I can find a paintbrush. I'm going to see if I can find anything and look that I can get it reconstituted because it is pretty hard. Just to see if we can get any of this copper at all. But this is the color I'm going to use to paint around the edges. I may have to try to find my new jar. This is pretty dry. Dang, I really should have checked that, guys. I didn't realize it was going to be that dry. Now I will leave that water in there to make it, I'll leave the water in there. But if you had any kind of paint, acrylic paint, if I had a copper paint pen, I could use that, but I really do not. Everything I have is either gold or silver. So let me see if I can find just a little bit more of the copper. Copper is one of my very favorite colors when it comes to the metallics. I am much more of a bronze. I am finding every other color except for that. Hang on. I know I've got one. You guys, thanks for bearing with me. I have so much gold, it's not even funny. Why am I not finding copper? Finding all this gold. I could even add some brown too. Could add some brown. I don't think this one's going to be dark enough to my copper. Why am I not finding it? I'm not finding it because I'm trying to look for it quickly. That's probably why. Let's see if I can get any of this out. This is another brownish color. Ugh, that's too pink though, you guys. I think that's too pink. I really should have put this on there before. Oh yeah. You can tell I'm out of this stuff, huh? I feel like this one is too pink. And I really just didn't want to go. And you know what? You guys, I was in Michael's tonight. Oh my goodness. I had to run in Michael's to grab something else. I didn't even think about paint because I thought, oh no, I've got that copper at home. I don't need to buy any more paint. Like, you know, it's less than $1. I could have picked up a paint, but this is what we're going to do. See, that's just not even going to pick it up. That is way too light. So what I'm probably going to have to do first, I'm going to put that up. I'm going to put the lid on the copper. I am going to do a coat of brown acrylic paint, and then I will add the copper on top of it so that it will pick it up. So let me grab a nice color brown. Don't know, let's see, that's acrylic, and that one is coffee colors. Let's see which brown. This one is called dark brown. I think dark brown might be that might be okay. Let's see. This is a folk art. That might be okay. I put that brown on it, and then that might be okay. I put that brown on it, and then I'll put a layer of copper over top of it. So how is everyone doing? Have you had a wonderful weekend? We ended up having a nice day. By the way, my name is Susan. I didn't even introduce myself. You guys, I am so out of practice. I've been nose to the grindstone. I haven't even been coming on live. That I just didn't even think about what I'm doing. Look, I'm lazy. I'm not trying to mess up anything else, so this is gonna take a couple coats. You'd think that brown would cover. There we go. My name is Susan. Thanks for watching. My page name is So Inspired Designs. That's my initials. I don't do sewing on here. It's my initials. And aren't I being brave with my nice teal sweatshirt? Not wearing an apron? Yes, I am. All right, so can you guys see that okay? I'm gonna put the light down a little bit more. So we're just gonna put a coat of brown. I'm gonna stay around the edges. I'm not gonna worry about like trying to be super neat because eventually I'm gonna go over it with the copper. But I feel like apparently it's gonna be too sheer to really show through. And I'm gonna have to look for my brand new copper, I think. I definitely think we're working with a copper here. I almost did the outline in like a metallic blue, which is my favorite, because a lot of the other things that I'm creating, a lot of the other projects have metallic blue, or the light blue, ice blue and light blue colors, because that's the colors from the wedding. But I thought this one would look weird if I did it that way. It definitely needed more of a... And you know, nobody's going to come up to this and be looking at it right up close. It's going to be in a little vignette with a bird cage and a rabbit and potentially a key. I think I'm going to have a key there, or teapot, little kind of centerpiece, not centerpiece, but tablescape kind of thing. So it's just going to add that, give that added of, the clock from Alice in Wonderland. And look, I've really got it on that edge, and I don't want to. It's supposed to look old, so it's okay. Do you see how it's already distressed on the photo anyway? So if you're trying to make something and you can't find it, see if you can find a picture. Think outside the box. See if you can find something that you could use as a base. I'm constantly, like, I was shopping at, I live in North Carolina, coastal North Carolina, and I actually went down to South Carolina to a pottery today, this afternoon, to look for a couple other things that I need for decorating. And I wasn't finding what I wanted, and I kept just walking around. Okay, think outside the box. Look at everything and think outside the box. What else would work for what I needed? And, sometimes you find it and sometimes you don't. And I definitely encourage you to check, thrift stores. Okay, now, because it's this slick surface, you've got to be careful. If you keep going over it, you're going to pull the paint off like I did here. See how it pulls it off? So I need to let that dry. And I am going to do the edge too. I'm going to go all the way around the edge. As well. And I'm hoping, I've got to really put the pedal to the metal the next few days, but I'm hoping that maybe on Wednesday I'm going to have some free time that I could hopefully upload some of the projects that I've been doing to YouTube. So I hope that you'll like and you'll subscribe to my channel so that you can catch some of the other fun projects that I share. I try to do a wide variety of ideas on here for you, because my goal is, like I said, my initials are SEW, so that's why it's so inspired. And really, I'm just trying to inspire people to try some kind of creative outlet. It's just a great way to express yourself, or to give yourself like some craft therapy. This stuff is very, I don't know why it says it's matte, which is good, but it's very watery. I don't even think that one was one that was on clearance. I definitely try to shop. I always check the clearance section, because you never know. Especially if there's a color like this. I don't use brown a lot, so my go-to is not going to be a brown, but you always have to have a brown. You have to have at least one of every color in your stash, because you never know if you're going to have to mix it with something else to create another color, or if you'll have a project like this where you need it. So I try to have one of every color, but my go-to is more brighter colors. So that's all I've done, is just put one coat on there. I will hit it with the dryer. I'll put another coat on it, find my copper, go over top of it with the copper. See how that's going to look? It's not going to look fabulous. And then see if I can find me some hands to put on there to make it look like a clock. So that's my project for you guys tonight. I just wanted to come on and share the idea with you real quick. Sorry I couldn't show you it start to finish. I know you don't want to sit here and watch me blow dry it and paint a couple coats, but I will try to update the picture on the front with the finished project once I get it done, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. But anyway, thanks for hopping on with me live. I hope that inspired you. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you leave me a little comment and tell me where you're watching from. I love to know that. And if you like this idea, if you'll give me a thumbs up and just subscribe to my channel, and look forward to some more ideas. And until I see y'all next time, I hope you'll be safe, you'll be healthy, you'll be blessed, and I hope you'll be so inspired. All right, guys, thanks so much. See you next time.